Hi friends, back again. Probably some oracle cards this time. Immediately the star dragons. That's what's standing out. I hope everyone's doing good today. I made more coffee for this. I feel like I have some direction in my life now. And I kind of feel like I've been without direction for a while. I wonder if that is one of the differences in, how it feels to be on the fated path versus the destined path. On the fated path, you're just going along. But on the destined path, you feel like there's direction. What is your directive? What is our directive? Maybe that's the question. Destruction. Releasing your anger. Number 16. Destruction. Releasing your anger. Okay, this is... I know this constellation. This is Orion. Look. Can you see that up there? Hold on. Let me see if I can make it... I don't know how to make it center. Is this how you do these things? Up here in the wing somewhere. There's Orion. I see it. I see like the bow, and I see his belt and his arm. This is so cool. Okay. Releasing your anger. That's part of the feelings you haven't felt in a while. Feelings you kind of forgot about. Feelings. And then 1, okay, so for the number 16, 1, unity and oneness. In 6 is about, I believe, like being driven by the heart and like things involving soul families and stuff. I can't say for sure. I should get a numerology book. I have a ancient runes book, but I got it like years ago. I don't really know anything about runes. Anyways, back on track. So, constellation Orion, star Rigel, Beta Orionis. That's associated with the Herald. Okay, so the Herald. Can you see the Herald up there at the top? Like kind of in the shadow, kind of in the fog, right? So we've got us trying to get to the dragon, so that our heart can be the compass to guide the dragon where we want to go. And what we are up here through the fog right now, and maybe anger and the light that this dragon releases whenever we feel the anger is what is going to help to like heat everything up enough to be able to clear this fog away, and going to be able to shine a bright light enough, a light bright enough, bright light, a light bright enough to see through the fog. Yeah, because I'm seeing that as fog, not as smoke. There's a bunch of dark smoke down here where the anger is being released from, but up here I'm definitely seeing it more as a fog, a haze, a veil. I've drawn a veil over last night. That's a quote from Mamma Mia. So So yeah, through the veil, which is reminding me again of the high priestess that keeps coming out, because the high priestess sees beyond the veil. And maybe that's because she's gone through the process of seeing anger. Or maybe that's part of it right now. Like, part of, just the other day I did a reading, and it came out with the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man was upright, and then the high priestess reversed, and both of those were the messages from the higher self. So it's kind of like, okay, stay rooted where you are, take the knowledge and awakenings that you can have while you're here, but understand that you're not going to be awakened to everything right now. And maybe having a safe space to release that anger and process that anger is going to help for that high priestess to turn around up in the higher self area, so that we can see through the veil even more. Okay, 16, destruction. The wisdom of the herald up here in the fog, releasing your anger. Descend upon and smite your enemies with a vengeance and furious anger. Let it out. Don't smite your enemy. See, I don't know. Look, I'm all about feeling the anger, but I don't think that we need to direct that anger towards someone, even energetically. It's like, that might be what causes the anger to bubble up inside us in the first place. But that anger really should go to destroying the attachments, to destroying the connection to what's making us so angry, rather than the enemies themselves. That's just how I see that. But still, let out your anger. Let it out. It's been bottling up inside you, and the time has come. Unleash the beast, and leave the town smoldering if necessary. If that's what you need to do to let it go, let it go. Burn that whole place up in your head. Don't do a Milton. Unleash the beast and leave the town smoldering if necessary. You've been holding it in for a while. Find a constructive or destructive outlet. Preferably the latter. Preferably the latter? No, preferably the former. I don't agree with everything in this book. Find a constructive outlet, right? Because sure, you can destroy something, but if that destruction negatively impacts other people, then it's not like something that we really want to do. And so the better way to do that is just create something, right? Create something in the direction that you want to go in, or create something around this to make it beautiful, so that, like, I don't know, it's like planting a garden. Eventually there's going to be like mushrooms that pop up and eat all of the dead stuff in the garden that you don't need anymore. And it's like that, it's like destruction with a purpose, not destruction for the sake of destruction, and not destruction to hurt the living tissue, the living plants that's still there. And we're not destroying the living tissue. We're destroying that which is, sucking from us. That's taking away our livelihood. Okay. The wisdom of the dragon. Destruction. Burn it up. Harness your inner goddess Kali and destroy, smash, and tear things apart with reckless abandon and wanton disregard. The time has come to annihilate the old world to make room for the new. Destruction is part of creation. Let it burn. This whole invocation of the card. Release your anger to destroy what no longer serves you in life. Tear down the old so that you may be renewed and restored. Smash things to pieces, break it down to build it back up. Let it go. Oh, very tower energy now as we're getting into that last bit. And what at the end of the page, it comes up to 17, the next card, and that says accepting loss, right? So that's a reminder that, interestingly enough, if this anger is something that we've been holding on to, if this anger is something that's been behind the fog, something that's under the surface, and we haven't let it out, once we do finally let that out, sometimes the like amount of energetic space that opens up inside of you, you just don't know what to do with, and it might actually feel like a loss. Losing something to be angry about might feel like a loss. And you know, once you've destroyed that which you are angry about, you have more room inside to create with. So if you're feeling at a loss, create to fill that space. If you feel like you're missing something, create something instead of just seeking. Oh, pretty, pretty. See, I'm going to try and... I was trying to stand up the cards over here. Like, I've set this up so that maybe we could see the cards, but... I don't know. Okay, that was interesting. I'd like for these to be more concise messages, but I don't have a concise scope of everything. Pretty, pretty. Work your light. Okay, so we have destroyed that which makes us angry, our connection, our tether to that which makes us angry. And now we are in creation mode. Well, maybe let's see what comes out for this destruction message first. Okay. The High Priestess is on the bottom. This one, sorry, God, my nose starts itching in this. This one always reminds me that, like, we have our wings. We have our wings. We can take ourselves where we need to go. We have our wings. And if you need to think that they're outside of yourself and not inside of yourself, then just hop on the dragon. The dragon, oops. The dragon has its wings and has been, you know, building up the muscle movements of those wings for so long. So, along with this message of destruction and of letting our anger out, releasing anger. Okay, let's see. Align your life. What is not aligned that needs to change? And with the shattered mirror look of this card, do you need to break something to let that anger out? Or maybe that anger is part of what's holding you together. And if that anger that you're not even allowing yourself to feel is part of what's holding you together, then releasing this anger is going to make you not only feel like you're missing something inside, but maybe like you're missing the glue that holds things all together. And again, we're going to have to find something to bring it all back together, you know, a new glue. And what is that going to be, right? What's this creation? What's this glue? What's this new light in our life? Mintakhan, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So, what is it? What's this light? Belonging. Longing for home, the original light workers. Let me see. If I set this right here for now, can you see that? I think so. It's like I think I brought my glasses in here, but I don't know what I did with them. I can see close up, but I have an astigmatism, and so it's just like I kind of see double a little bit. And I cannot see the camera, like where the reflection on the camera is. I can't see it very clearly. It's just colors and shapes. How does that Mac Miller song go? If it was colors and shapes, if we were just colors and shapes instead of all of this weight that we have to carry, would you be able to breathe? I don't know. If it was just colors and shapes that were ordinary instead of all of this weight that we have to carry, would you be able to breathe? Something like that. Anyways, I was going to read from the book on this one. Longing for Home, Mintakon, the original Lightworkers. I don't think of time as being linear. So if there was a life that you lived on another planet, or if there's another lifetime that you feel more connected to than this right now, I don't think that it is impossible to ever get back there. I don't believe that we, like, when you die here, that's it, and then you move on to the next step. You probably have the potential to go back there. Just a guess, just a belief. But right now, as we are here on this earth, you can't get back to what that is. And so you have to make home the very best that you can here. And know that you're not the only one too. There's like so many of us that feel like we don't belong. So many of us that feel like we don't fit in. And it doesn't matter what it is that does it for you, that helps you find that sense of belonging. Especially as long as it's not, harming anyone else. If it's not hurting anyone else, it doesn't matter what. It could be literally anything. Maybe you have a like mundane job, but it really makes you feel good to be needed there, to help others there. Maybe it really fills you up to be there and be doing what you're doing. And so you've done that. You found a sense of belonging here. And every little bit of belonging makes things feel more like home. He gets towards the back. The Mintakans are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. Literally the Orion constellation. Okay. That's cool. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original Lightworkers. The Mintakon's home planet is thought to have been a water world with water so pure that you could see through it for miles. For this reason, Mintakans feel most at peace and at home when in or around crystal clear water. They are here to teach us to see the potential in everything and the light in all beings. Oh, that resonates. Many Mintakans have an odd longing for home and struggle with feeling like they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pulled this card, it could mean that you are a Mintakan or are longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel safe and secure. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where it is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth to call your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now. To choose where you feel most at home and create it, again with this creation, rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. Okay. Where did this go? Over here. We allow ourselves to truly be here and at home on this planet. We release any grief around not belonging or feeling held, and we call in the perfect home. And home isn't just the place that you reside. Home is the place that you put your energy. Home is the place that you find comfort, right? You can come home in your body. You can come home in a mental space. You can come home to a patch of grass. Like that home is it's a feeling state more than a location. It's like you can't step in the same river twice because you're not the same you and it's not the same river. But that same source, that same sense of security and belonging exists totally within you. And if you want more of it outside of you, that's where creation comes in. If feeling it inside of your what if that's part of it, right? It's not like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable in the outside world, like it's not about feeling bad that you're so uncomfortable in the outside world. It's that maybe you have such a longing to make that sense of home that you know that you've experienced, that sense of home that you know is deep inside of you. It's just so powerful and so big that you have to let it out. You know, it's not that you are dissatisfied with the way that things are around you just for the sake of dissatisfaction, but it's because you've experienced something so much more vast and more pure than you perceive things to be right now. And if you can't find the space inside of yourself, as vast as that original home was, as that original source is, if you can't find that space within yourself, and everyone can, but you know, I know it's not easy, then you have to create things in your life outside of yourself to bring that sense here. Am I making any sense? You are the oracle. My eyes stopped on this one. Keepers of the Light Oracle. Coffee fingers. Oh, we've got two coming out. Radha, Soul Flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. Rediscover that lost part of yourself. Take that feeling, that longing feeling for a home that's farther away from you, and rediscover it inside of you. It's like, this doesn't really go along with a planet covered in water, but imagine you had a very safe space in a life in the past, and every morning or every evening, every day, you had a ritual of like lighting candle on a little altar or something like that, and maybe you help to reignite that flame inside of yourself, reignite that feeling of connectedness to a very safe and stable and secure source. Maybe you come back to that just by lighting a candle it doesn't have to be in a sacred space, but maybe if you do it every day in the same spot, or maybe not every day, but you know, still. As within, so without. Everything is just a reflection of us. And so maybe if you need something physical in the world, you can light that candle as a reminder with the intention to reignite the connection within yourself to something that felt more like home than where you are right now. And behind that, and maybe lotuses are important too, right? Finding a balance in the chakra, especially with all of the red and the green colors coming through on this card in particular. Being aware that that heart center is the connection, that is the space where the higher self and the higher realms and higher chakras come and connect with the lower chakras, with the grounding. with the connection here on the earth plane. That's where the energetic, your heart space is where your energetic body decides what matters. And if you have that space, and like literally matters, you know, that's turning energy into matter. The heart space is, I don't know, the conduit, I almost want to say. Okay, what card is behind this? Charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask, and you shall receive. Look, with all the roses around her head and a crown, just connecting her directly to that higher self. Connect with heaven, ask, and you shall receive. So, let's see. Can you see all the... Yeah, you can see all the way over there, I think. So, we have over here destruction, destroying anger, destroying connections that are no longer serving, and definitely destroying connections that are sucking from you. If they're not serving you, then they're probably sucking from you. If it is not, and if there's not, you know, benefits for both and all parties involved, whether it's people or just, you know, experiences in your life and situations, like, there, cut those cords, destroy those connections, destroy the strings connecting you to the puppeteer, right? There should be no one outside of yourself puppeteering your life. Releasing those things is going to make it feel like things are out of alignment, but finding that flame, reigniting that light inside of us can help us shine the light on coming back and finding home within ourselves. Finding where that light in ourselves shines the brightest. And then using that to guide us to whatever it is in this life that is going to help glue the shattered pieces of ourselves back together. Okay, reconnecting to ourselves, rediscovering ourselves. And prayer and contemplation is all you really need to do it. Time and space within. Time and space with your higher self. It doesn't have, you don't have to try and connect to anything outside of you. If you don't want to connect to a God, if you don't want to connect to guides, if you don't want to connect to angels or anything like that, you can literally just connect to you and feel what it feels like to be you. And let me tell you, when you feel what it feels like to be your soul, your spirit, it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful, because all of that baggage, all of that weight, all of that everything that's been like placed on us in this world falls away, and there is such a lightness underneath it that just, it bubbles out. It doesn't boil out, right? It like bubbles and like fills you up with just an expansive sense of awe, wonder. You feel settled. I've never felt so expanded and so settled at the same time as when I just asked, what does it feel like to be Alyssa? What does it feel like to be me? And it feels so good. It feels so good. It'll fill you up from the inside. I have no clue how long this has been going. Does this need to end? One from this, a closing message from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. And then we will call it a day. They're all flipping around in different positions. Okay. What's the closing message for this reading? Lost in space, needing direction. Look, it's like your soul choosing to come to Earth, okay? You were like floating around up there in space for a while, but you literally chose to come to Earth. You looked upon Earth and you said, you know, that's where I'm going to go right now. And that's where you are. So even if you feel like you belong somewhere else, remember, your soul chose this. And you've got that connection. Look how lit up it is in that headspace up there above the earth, right? Like you've got this connection to source. That, it's like, it's like your spirit sent you down here as this light, as this soul into this body for you to incarnate here on earth and do all it is that you're doing. And then, so that's 36. And we also have here eyes of the eagle rising above the fray, right? So lost in space, but getting your sights set on something, figuring out what exactly it is that you want to do. You know, looking at things from a bird's eye view, looking at things from above, and then honing in and focusing on what it is that you want. Okay, so we're going to do 36 and then 18 and then call it done. Lost in space, feeling lost, needing direction and focus, a 24-hour day. Sometimes in life we lose our way, perhaps falling prey to addictive behaviors, jealousy, comparison, resistance, or fear. This happens especially when we are up-leveling and genuinely changing for the better. A part of us, hidden in the vast expansiveness of space, wants to sabotage our progress. In the transformation process, our inner world no longer feels safe or inhabitable as we find that our thoughts and beliefs have morphed beyond recognition. Right? That not being able to recognize ourselves anymore. You may find yourself adrift in this way right now, unable to focus or determine the next step. You might be tired and simply need to regroup and rest. When you lack direction, the first thing to do is redirect your perspective of time. Like a newborn baby who needs swaddling to feel safe, you're invited to reduce your life visioning to the next 24 hours. This has been like one of my favorite things to do lately. I've been trying not to schedule out anything past, a day or so. Yeah, it does make things a lot easier to handle sometimes. Anyone can handle living in 24-hour compartments, which allows everything to feel grounded and manageable. You get lost in space when you imagine being swallowed up in the gigantic vastness of the future, with its dark uncertainty, or reflect on how your past has held you captive in a hall of distorted, never-ending mirrors, reminding you of your mistakes and flaws, failures and losses. That's part of what we're destroying too, right? We're destroying that perception of ourselves. Take heart that the simple 24-hour container immediately banishes those two awful eternities away, and you find your energy and focus restored as you recognize that you were never lost at all. Keep it simple. Right now, conserve your energy and take care of you in basic, fundamental ways, and the world will be right again. Oh, interesting perspective. And now we're going to go to 18. Eyes of the Eagle. Protection. Inherent trust. Rising above the fray. Okay. Sorry. The Eyes of the Eagle offers you the gift of foresight, the skill of looking ahead to see the unfolding of destiny before it all manifests as reality. The eagle's extraordinary vision allows it to spot the tiny mouse from its lofty perspective as it flies thousands of feet into the atmosphere. In a similar fashion, you too can train your key eye to discern the workings of humans. Eyes of the Eagle is an invitation to witness the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the beautiful, yet react to nothing. Act only to further your noblest calling. The eagle flies above all creatures when it meets obstacles, it simply rises above them. Know you are protected. You can fly high above the judgment slings and arrows and the darts of envy from others who may not have your great wings and are still arguing with the pigeons over crumbs. Ooh, that's good. I'm going to read that again. Know that you are protected. You can fly high above the judgment slings and arrows and the darts of envy from others who may not have your great wings and are still arguing with the pigeons over crumbs. Remember, I was saying at the beginning, we have our wings. That high priestess energy reminds us we have our wings. And this eye of the eagle is definitely going to help as we are on the back of the dragon, right? It's like playing D&D, you know, and we're like gaining little spells to cast along the way. And we just gained the eyes of the eagle. Trust that you are ready for whatever fortune has placed before you, even if you feel not yet properly equipped to meet its challenges. Your willingness to say yes to spirit has nothing to do with how well outfitted you are. Hesitating, on the other hand, will suck the air from under your wings and make you lose altitude. You are called now to trust your heart and your instincts, to move fearlessly and not waver. The time is right, and no harm can come your way if your motives are pure and you act courageously. That is so confirming. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Pretty. Okay, I feel like this has been going on for a very long time, but wow. A lot of cutting cords here and getting back into alignment happening. Finding that home within ourselves, destroying the things that don't feel like home so that we can have the space, both the actual physical space to create more of what we want and also to be able to tap into that infinite amount of energetic space that gives us, you know, the infinite abundant energy to create the things in the physical. What a beautiful life. Everything's so nice. The birds are up in the sky and the clouds are way up high. Cool. Well, that was a fun reading. Thank you so much.